You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not too sensitive for the real world. You are running software from 40,000 years ago, on hardware that's being asked to process the entire planet at once. And nobody told you that. So you've spent years thinking something is wrong with you. Today, we're going to prove that your overwhelm isn't a personal failure, it's a signal. And once you learn to read it, it stops running your life from the shadows, and you start running it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand your own mind in a way most people never do. Let's start with the story you already know, the one everyone tells you. You're overwhelmed because you're disorganized. You're overwhelmed because you don't manage your time well. You're overwhelmed because you need to toughen up. You've heard some version of that your whole life, maybe from a parent, maybe from a boss, maybe from the voice in your own head at 2 in the morning. And here's the cruel part, you believed it. So every time you felt that tightness in your chest, that fog behind your eyes, that urge to just stop existing for a day, you didn't see a signal. You saw a defect. You tried to fix the defect. You bought the planner. You did the productivity system. You woke up earlier, and you still felt overwhelmed. That's not because you failed. It's because you were treating the wrong problem. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Your brain was built for a world with one village, a few dozen faces, one season's worth of decisions, threats you could see, hear, or smell. Now, think about what you actually ask it to do in a single day. You absorb more information before lunch than a person from a few centuries ago absorbed in a year. You track messages from work, from family, from strangers online, all at once. You're expected to have an opinion on world events happening on the other side of the planet, in real time, before dinner. Your brain isn't failing at that job. No brain was built for that job. There's a term for this in psychology: evolutionary mismatch. It just means the environment changed a lot faster than the brain living inside it. Your nervous system is still calibrated for a village. You're living in a species-wide group chat. So when you feel overwhelmed, here's the reframe. That's not proof you're behind. That's proof you're still deeply, functionally human, placed in a century that hasn't caught up to what a human nervous system can actually hold. Say that back to yourself for a second. Overwhelm is not weakness. Overwhelm is information. Here's where it gets interesting, because feeling overwhelmed isn't the whole story either. What do most of us do the moment we feel that flood of too much? We push it down, we smile, we say, "I'm fine, just busy." We answer one more email. We show up to one more thing we didn't have the capacity for. And every time you push a feeling down instead of dealing with it, it doesn't disappear. It goes somewhere. It goes into the part of you that this channel is built around, your shadow. Quick definition, because we'll use this word a lot. The psychiatrist Carl Jung used the shadow to describe everything about yourself that you've pushed out of view because it felt unacceptable, unsafe, or inconvenient to feel. Not evil, just exiled. Your overwhelm isn't only about too much information. It's about everything you're not letting yourself feel underneath it. And underneath most people's overwhelm, we find the same 3 exiled feelings, again and again. Let's meet them. Here's a question. When was the last time you said yes to something, and some small part of you screamed no? Maybe it was a favor, a meeting, a family obligation. You said, of course, happy to, and your voice was warm and your face was calm. But somewhere in you, a much less polite voice was furious. That fury doesn't vanish because you didn't say it out loud. It gets rerouted, and overwhelm is one of its favorite disguises. It's a lot more socially acceptable to say, "I'm just so busy right now," than it is to say, "I am angry that everyone assumes I'll say yes." So the anger goes underground. And from underground, it doesn't just disappear, it leaks. It shows up as snapping at people who didn't deserve it. as exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, as a low hum of resentment you can't quite point to. You're not overwhelmed by your calendar. You're overwhelmed by everything you agreed to while furious and never told anyone. Second monster. This one people almost never admit, even to themselves. Think about the person in your life who says no easily, who takes the day off without guilt, who leaves work at 5 and doesn't think about it again until morning. Be honest. Does some part of you find that a little irritating? If it does, that's not pettiness, that's envy. And envy is one of the most disowned feelings there is, because we've been taught it's shameful to want what someone else has. But envy is actually incredibly useful. It's a map. It points with perfect accuracy at exactly what you're not allowing yourself to have. If you envy someone's rest, some part of you is starving for rest and won't admit it. If you envy someone's boundaries, some part of you wants boundaries and doesn't feel allowed to have them. Your overwhelm, in this case, isn't only about your workload. It's about carrying a life you never fully chose, while watching other people live one you secretly want. Third monster. The quietest one, and the one people are most afraid to say out loud. Somewhere, in the middle of a hard week, has this thought ever crossed your mind? Even for half a second, even if you immediately felt guilty for it. I wish I could just disappear for a while. I wish someone would take care of me for once. I wish I could just stop. All of it. If that thought has ever passed through you, I want to say something clearly. That does not make you broken, and it does not make you ungrateful. It makes you a person who has been running on empty and has never been allowed to say so. We treat the desire to rest, to be cared for, to stop performing, as forbidden. Especially if you're the reliable one, the strong one, the one people lean on. So that desire goes into the shadow too, and it comes out sideways, as burnout, as getting sick right when you finally have a day off, as a body that shuts down because the mind never gave it permission to slow down on its own terms. Here's the pattern almost everyone misses. You feel overwhelmed. You push down the anger, the envy, the desire to stop. You survive the week. And then, right when things calm down, you sabotage yourself. You pick a fight with someone you love for no clear reason. You suddenly can't finish the project you were excited about. You get sick the day your vacation starts. That's not bad luck. That's your shadow, finally getting loud enough to be heard, because you wouldn't listen to it any other way. Self-sabotage is rarely random. It's usually a delayed bill for every feeling you didn't pay attention to when it first showed up. So let's stop paying that bill in secret. Let's bring these monsters into the light on purpose. Because a monster you can see is just a part of you waiting to be understood. This is the part where we actually do something about it. 4 tools, simple ones. Use them this week, not someday. At the end of each day, ask yourself one question. Where did I say yes today when I meant no? Don't judge the answer, just name it. I said yes to covering that shift, and I was angry about it. That's it. Naming the anger, out loud or on paper, takes away most of its power to leak out sideways. Once a week, write down one person whose life made you a little envious, and finish this sentence. I envy there, because I want more of that for myself. That sentence turns envy from shame into a request, and a request is something you can actually act on. Pick 1 hour, once a week, that belongs to nobody but you. Not for errands, not for catching up. For rest, or for whatever you secretly want more of, put it in your calendar like it's a meeting with your CEO. Because it is. That CEO is the part of you that's been asking to be cared for a long time. Next time overwhelm hits, before you do anything else, ask yourself this. What am I feeling underneath this that I haven't let myself feel yet? You don't need the full answer right away. You just need to ask. Asking is the first act of integration. It's the moment you stop treating your shadow like an intruder and start treating it like a part of your own team. Let's land the plane on everything we covered. Your overwhelm is not proof that you're behind. It's proof that your nervous system was built for a smaller, slower world, and it's doing its best in a much louder one. Underneath that overwhelm, you're very likely carrying buried anger from all the times you said yes with a no in your chest, secret envy pointing straight at what you actually need, and a forbidden desire to stop, to rest, to be taken care of, one you've never been allowed to say out loud. None of that makes you broken. It makes you someone who has been surviving in the dark instead of leading from the light. Overwhelm is not weakness. Overwhelm is information. And now you know how to read it. Your brain isn't too slow for this century. If anything, it's carrying more than any brain in history was ever asked to carry, and it's still showing up for you every single day. That's not a flaw. That's a kind of strength most people never get taught to see. If this helped you understand yourself a little better, stay with us. Next time, we're going to sit down with the monster almost nobody wants to admit they have. The part of you that sabotages your own success, right when it's finally within reach. Subscribe if you want to be in the room for that one. And if one of these three monsters, the anger, the envy, or the forbidden desire, hit closer to home than the others, tell me which one in the comments. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.